What is up everyone? I have been late night eBay shopping once again and I've picked up a little item. Now this cost me 15 quid and you'll notice the Mac Mini in the frame here. We're going to need the Mac Mini. We're also going to need this monitor that's just over to the side here. This is a cool little accessory. Now I checked out the Contour Design G-Rack and G-Riser and lately I've had this sort of fascination with weird little accessories for Macs, especially older Macs, and all sorts of things were made, and this is something that I remember being sold back in the day, and stuff in this kind of style is still made today for the current generation Mac Mini as well. This isn't a unique product by any means, it's not rare either, but what was cool about this one was it's made by Sonnet, which are of course a well-known brand for various Mac accessories, and it's boxed, so it's nice to add to the collection with my other two boxed weird Mac accessories, and I hope to check more of these out in the future. So today we're going to be checking out the Sonnet MacCuff for the first generation Mac Mini, or I should say the first Mac Mini design. It'll work with the early Intel Mac Minis, which I have here, and it'll also work with the Mac Mini G4. Okay, so here it is. Wow, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. It's quite a big box actually. So here is the box. Very, very nice. This absolutely screams mid-noughties. I love the sort of 4:3 aspect ratio PC monitor here, and just the overall design of this is really cool. So Sonnet MacCuff Mini. So that's awesome. Mounting and security system for Mac Mini. If we look to the back of the box, there's just a description of what the product is in 5 different languages. To the side, you can see a little picture of what the item actually is, and then same on that side, and we've just got the logo and stuff. So this is indeed a kit that allows you to mount the Mac Mini to the VESA mount on the back of any monitor, which is cool. So it essentially turns your PC monitor into an iMac, if you like, only with a few more cables spewing out the side. So it's a cool way to get your Mac Mini off the desk, and this word is mentioned here, security. And this is interesting too. It will stop anybody wandering off with a Mac Mini because it's secured to the monitor. It's actually screwed in. So I mean, let's see how easy it would be to steal a Mac Mini when it's in this thing. This is quite a cool space-saving piece of kit, and I can also imagine this being quite handy for schools and colleges maybe, or even if you've just got an absolutely tiny desk, or if you want the Mac Mini completely out of the way. Personally, I quite like to show off my Macs, so having it sitting there loud and proud on the desk is pretty cool. And obviously it's a Mac Mini, so it's not that big, but for whatever reason you may want to attach the Mac Mini to your monitor, you can do so with this product. So let's open up the box and take a look at what's inside. So first of all, we have a cable. Let's take a look at what we've got here to begin with. We've got what looks to be, what is that? That is a mini DVI connector to VGA. So that is an interesting cable. I believe this Mac Mini has a full-size DVI on it. Yes, it does indeed. So they've begun including mini DVI, I believe, with the 2009 Mac Mini. I'm just going to double check that. So I've just checked, it is indeed the early 2009 Mac Mini that came with the mini DVI connector. That also came with the mini DisplayPort connector. They came together, so it was the first Mac Mini that supported dual displays. It's great to do stuff like this. You get a little reminder of what machine did what and when the specs changed and whatnot. So up until that point, it was just full-size DVI on the Mac Minis, which is cool. So this kit was made after the 2009 Mac Mini was released, but before the 2010 Mac Mini was released, presumably. I guess they still sold them when that new design came out, because obviously a lot of people still had the older design Mac Mini, but they did make a newer one as well, and they currently sell a MacCuff 2 that fits new style Mac Minis and also still screws onto the back of monitors and underneath desks and stuff like that. So I'll leave a link to that in the video description, because it's interesting to see how far this product has come. Anyway, you get the mini DVI to VGA. Now this brings me on to my next point. Isn't it fascinating how they give you a mini DVI to VGA and not to DVI, because presumably the majority of monitors they'd be expecting you to screw this onto would be VGA monitors. Now obviously DVI monitors were very popular in the noughties, but more often than not your average PC monitor would just have a VGA port. So it's a safer option including the mini DVI to standard VGA. We'll put that to one side. Let's check out what else is in the box. Here we've got some kind of mounting bracket or bar of some sort to secure things. We've also got some screws in a little bag, and then we have the device itself. So let's see how this box comes apart. Ah, cool, quite neat really. So here we have it, and it is definitely interesting feeling. It's a very glossy steel, I think this is made out of. I was expecting it to be sort of that aluminium kind of look, but it's not. It's quite different. So as you can see, it's really simple. You've got your VESA mount screws here in the two different spacings, and then you've just got a section to slot in the Mac Mini. So presumably with that on your monitor like that, and then this slotting in like this. Let's see if that works. No? Maybe like that? So you can get it on this way. This is the way I'd want it, with the Apple logo facing out the back of your monitor as opposed to the rubber part facing out the back of your monitor. So it does actually work like that. I'm not sure if that's the way you're meant to do it. And then we've got this retention bar. Let's have a look at this. I'm presuming that's what this is anyway. And that's to lock the rest of the system in place, I guess. So does it simply just do that along the front here? Yes, and then you can put a little lock through there. That is cool. So by screwing this onto your monitor, you can't actually get the Mac Mini out because you can lock it in. That is awesome, isn't it? That is really funky. So wow, look at that. That is nice. That is really, really nice. So let's just have a quick look at the picture to see if I've done that right. So yeah, it does indeed look right. That side faces outwards. So without further ado then, let's just screw it onto the monitor and see how it actually fits on and stuff, because so far this is really cool. Little lock in there. Yeah, really, really good. So let's have a look at what screws we've got with it. There's also a handy dandy little cable tie included. Seeing as I got this second hand, it's quite nice to see the cable tie, because you'd think that would have been long lost, but looks like this item has been taken care of. Oh wow, you get two cable ties, look. That's really cool. So we've hit our first snag. Now I did not think about this. This particular monitor, you can't mount anything to the back of it because that's where the stand connects. So if I was to disconnect the stand, I'd have access to the mounting holes. However, I would not be able to use the monitor without a stand. So that is no good, is it? We need a monitor that has a stand connected to the bottom so that we have access to mounting on the back. So I think I'm actually gonna have to try and find a different monitor. Okay, we've hit the jackpot. Here we've got a random AOC ancient monitor from, I don't know, 2006, 2007. 17-inch it looks to be at a glance. And the cool thing about this monitor is it's got a separate stand and it's got an accessible VESA mount. So I'm going to unravel this power cable that seems to be quite stuck underneath, and then we can get cracking installing the mount. So I'm just kind of eyeballing this at the moment and seeing how I'm going to do it, and I think the coolest way to do it will be to put the Mac Mini completely upside down like this, and that way all the connectors will come out the bottom. Now on the box the Mac Mini is advertised like this, but that just means all the cables will spew out the side. Now I guess it depends what kind of stand you've got, but I do think that I'll have enough clearance for cabling if I attach mine like this. Now again, just to double check on the box, it will have the cable spewing out the side if I do it like that, but I should be able to mount it just on the bottom. So because of the rubber base of the Mac Mini, it's actually a really tight fit to try and get it in and out. So even without the security bar, you'd be really struggling to nick one of these out of this adapter, definitely. What I will explain while I'm screwing this in is the story about this screwdriver. Now, this red screwdriver you won't have seen on the channel before, and I actually am quite attached to this one now because I had to purchase this from, I believe it was a Pound Stretchers when we went on holiday to Devon last summer. We stayed in a caravan, and obviously with two very mischievous toddlers, two little boys who are completely up to all sorts of mischief all the time, I needed to do a couple of repairs before we left, and I didn't have any tools, so I had to purchase from Pound Stretchers a set of screwdrivers that contained both flat and Phillips head screwdrivers, and then I was able to do the various repairs to the kitchen and the shower that I needed to do. Don't worry folks, we didn't make that much of a mess. I just needed to make a few adjustments before we checked out. So for that reason, even though this is quite a cheap and nasty screwdriver from a pound shop, I'm really quite attached to it, and it's got a nice long shaft here which makes it easy for mounting this bracket, and it's got a nice rubberized handle as well, so I quite like it. Weighing things up once again, I think it will be easier to attach the cabling before we slide the Mac Mini in. So the first one is the VGA cable. Now I'm excited to use this much more than I was earlier because this monitor only has VGA. It is not the DVI model, even though there's a gap for a DVI connector here. Presumably they made a higher end version that accepted DVI as well. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to be using good old VGA, the way that the majority of people would have been connecting their Mac Mini in around 2007, 2008. So there's the VGA connector in, and you can see nice short mini DVI cable there to go to the mini DVI connector. We'll also plug the power in for this monitor because it might be a little bit trickier to get to that once the Mac Mini is in place. So there's the power. So far we've got video on power, and now let's do the most exciting thing, and that is slide the Mac Mini in. So where's it gone? Aha, here we go. So let's do it live on camera. Let's drop it in, and I'm presuming this will actually be easier to do now that I'm not just holding the bracket out in the open. Now that it's attached to something, this should be easier. It's still quite tight, it really is tight, but man, as you can see by the box, it is the plastic side of the Mac Mini that's facing outwards, so the rubber side is fine to be on the inside, but it causes so much friction. Man, that is tight, that is really tight. I'm going to turn to the instructions here 1 minute and just check that it doesn't mention anything about that. No, you can clearly see on the instructions the way that you're meant to do it, and that is with the rubber on the inside. Yes, his is on the side, but we've already spoken about that, so I'm just going to use some elbow grease and just... Ooh, that goes against the grain. Flippin' heck, that is tight. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Ah, and she's in. My God, that is not something you're going to be doing regularly. Oh my gosh. Anyway, let's secure it with the little bracket here that you can slide across. Push in, and that's really quite loose now. Earlier I had the Mac Mini pushed up a bit so it was sliding across the front of the Mac Mini. That's actually very doable if you wanted to do that, but if you were to put a lock here, then that would be secure anyway, so that's fine. We'll leave it out for now, otherwise it's just going to flap about all over the place. I don't have a suitable lock to hand to lock it in, unfortunately, even though that would be really cool. I just don't. So anyway, let's plug in the mini DVI connector. Oh no! No, we can't use this cable, can we? I just explained why we can't use it, because this is a full-size DVI. Ah, how disappointing is that? I did spend a couple of minutes talking about that earlier and I'd already forgotten. Ah, that's a shame. I always just presume, you know, because the 2006 and 7 MacBooks have this connector on them, I just presume that these had full-size DVIs. So what are we going to do about that? We'll have to not use this guy. Okay, why did my brain so instantly eject that information, I wonder? Okay. Ah, that's a shame. That's a shame. So unfortunately, I was hunting for my lovely Apple DVI to VGA adapter, and I can't seem to find it. So I'm running out of time today to do this anyway, so I'm going to pick this up tomorrow. Hopefully I'll find my adapter. I found every other adapter under the sun apart from that one. You know how it is. I actually can't find any DVI to VGA adapters, but I'm not gonna let this defeat me because we need to get this done. So a whole day later and I'm ready to carry on with this crazy concoction. So I've got a DVI to VGA adapter finally, and our VGA cable. So let's plug all this in. We're going to do the monitor end first. Now what would be great about this setup is if you had one of these older Mac Minis versus the 2009 and you couldn't use this lovely short cable, just like I can't use it in this video, it would be really nice to go and buy the shortest VGA cable you can possibly find so that you could just bridge it over to an adapter. Or better still, if you're using a monitor with DVI, just go out and buy the shortest possible DVI cable. That way it's all neat and tidy and clean at the back of your monitor. But what we're going to do is we're going to tie this up as if we're going to use it, just to see how clean we can get with a normal VGA cable, a normal length one. So we'll pop the adapter into the Mac Mini DVI port. This would of course be the same if you had a G4, because Mac Mini G4s also come with a DVI port. There we go, lovely. And as you can see, brilliant clearance with the stand. There is no problem there at all. It's not even tight or anything, it's just perfect. So now we connect this to the adapter. And with that connected, let's get a twist tie and we'll loop the VGA cable back up here like this and just have a little look. We don't want to block the USB ports too much, so we don't want to do it too tightly. So we'll just pull that round, 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 like that. And we'll use the twist tie. So the twist tie is not going to cut it. Let's use a cable tie. I'm not using the ones that came with it. I'll keep those nice in the packaging because it's complete in box. I'll just keep it all nice, just like I received it. So there's that. So we've got a loop of VGA. I'm going to pop a little cable tie around the edge of the adapter here. And if I do it the right way around, this will hold that entire bundle in place. If I can get the end of it back out. Look at that, not bad at all. So there's the VGA cable. Let's trim those ends so it looks a little nicer. There we go. Very nice. Now, just a few finishing touches. We've got the power cable for the monitor connected. We need the power cable for the Mac Mini. So I've got the brick off to the side. And let's just bring that around. Now, I'm going to unplug the other end of the power brick because this is still configured how it was when I was using it as a server, so it'll power on straight away if we do this. We don't want that because we want to do like the first boot. Also, I have no idea if this monitor even works, so that will be interesting to find out. There's that. And we're going to bring up a network cable, and the one that I happen to have is pink. So we'll plug in the pink network cable. And last but not least, let's plug in the keyboard, and then we can plug our mouse into the keyboard. So, USB port there, and that is a fully connected Mac Mini. I'm going to grab the camera and give you guys a closer look at how this looks on the back of the monitor. So here you can see all the connectors, and there are no clearance issues at all. In fact, it's kind of made to measure, looks so much nicer than it would have done if I had it on the side like they show on the box. So you can imagine all the cabling stuck out the side. You'd be able to tie it all down, but still, this is a lot cleaner. You got room over here to tie an excess amount of VGA cable because obviously it's very unlikely that you'll have a tiny VGA cable to hand in order to do this. And we've got our keyboard plugged in, that'll just tuck behind there nicely. So let's flip around this ancient monitor and see if any of this actually works. So there we have it. That is our mini iMac, Mac Mini, iMac Mini, whatever. It's pretty weird to hide it like that, isn't it? But it's really functional. Wow, I mean, it doesn't protrude any more than the back of the stand, so it makes this particular monitor a bit rickety because of all the extra weight, and it's a really plasticky monitor, but that wouldn't be a problem for something slightly more sturdy. So anyway, let's give this a whirl, power the monitor up and see if it even works. So I've got the keyboard, I've got a mouse connected. The monitor appears to be in standby because there's a little orange light on it. So I'm just going to plug in the power brick of the Mac Mini and see if it all fires up. So here we go. I'm excited. This is weird but exciting. Oh, here we go. Monitor has lit up, and any second now we should see maybe. Yay! Wow, that took forever. Okay, there's our little Apple logo. Now this monitor is taking a while to heat up. We've got some horrible patchiness here as the backlight tries to warm up. It's not diffused very well at the moment. I'm not sure how much better it's actually going to get than that. It's getting a little bit better now that it's been on for a minute or so. I'm just really glad that it works. This is the first time that I've used this monitor. I got this for free when I picked up that Mac Pro 1,1, that original Mac Pro with the 30-inch cinema display. She just threw this monitor in on the side. So here we are, guys, we are in. I'm presuming the resolution, this isn't the native resolution, surely. There's no room here on the screen whatsoever. Let's just have a quick look. Displays. No, it's not. 1024 by 768. Apparently this will do 1280 by 1024. Let's see if it'll swap to that and actually work. Yeah, that's more like it, guys. That's more like it. That's a nice res for a 17-inch monitor there. Lovely. Okay, so I'm using my Mac Mini, and you can't even see a Mac Mini. It's great. It's completely hidden. I mean, I don't really know what to do. Ah, a little bit of colour. That's a bit nicer, isn't it? Let's move this folder out of the way as well, clean things up a little bit here, and let's put our dock back down the bottom to give it that more sort of classic Mac look. There we go, that's more like it. Now we're looking like a bit of a Mac Mini setup. Nice. So one thing I wanted to do before we closed out was put a DVD in and see if the DVD drive worked properly with the machine on the back like this. So let's just wake it up there. And I've got a CD actually, sorry, not a DVD. I've got a CD, and we'll just take the CD and just drop it into the Mac Mini. Now, ejecting it will also be an interesting process to see, because it's now ejecting vertically. So we'll see if that works. But this is just a music CD, so let's see if it plays it okay. I can't imagine why it won't, but it is a different orientation to how you'd usually have your Mac Mini, obviously. So, looks like it recognises the CD. We'll just leave iTunes for a second and play a track directly from the CD. Let's just play it in QuickTime so we don't have to bother iTunes. Let's have a little listen. Yeah, it's playing it just fine. Let's see if we've got a more lively track. Yeah, you won't be able to hear that very clearly probably because it's just a tiny Mac Mini speaker on the back, but it's playing the CD absolutely fine. Have I got a DVD up here to test? Do you know what? I'm going to grab a DVD as well. Let's eject the CD. Now, if it plays an audio CD, I don't see why it won't play a film. So we've got Black Panther here on DVD. Pull that out. Pop this in. It ejected just fine as well. And this Mac Mini is going on, 13 years old, so not bad at all. Usually the slot-load optical drives lose their strength, but I guess by this point they'd sort of figured them out. Okay, let's have a look at what DVD player is telling us about regions. Skipping over damaged area. That's quite interesting. It's pretty much a brand new DVD. My dad lent it to me. He got it for his birthday, I believe. There shouldn't be any damaged area on this DVD, but we'll just wait this out a second. Oh, now we've done it, guys. Now we've done it. We can't get the disc out. Okay, come on. Let's have a little look at the underside of that. It's completely clean and perfect, so no idea why it says that it was skipping over a damaged area. I'm just going to try another DVD because I can see another one over here in my pile of random junk, and I'm now curious about the DVD drive in this Mac Mini. I've got a series of The Office here on DVD. Let's have a look. Let's pop one of these guys in. Let's pop in the first disc, have a quick inspection, looks fine. So it boots into the player just fine. Let's have a look and see how this one behaves. Okay, play the episodes. We're actually having a bit more luck with this one. Yeah, it's working absolutely fine. I will say though, guys, having the Mac Mini on the back of the monitor, if you're using the Mac Mini speaker for just a little bit of audio, you're not doing anything serious, you just want to hear some basic sounds through it, it's a lot quieter now that it's tucked away on the back of the monitor versus whether it was sitting here on the desk. You can barely hear it. But yeah, it's playing back a DVD just fine, so it just doesn't like Black Panther. Not sure why, but whatever. We knew it would work anyway. I just wanted to try the optical drive because of the slightly less conventional orientation of the machine now that it's mounted to the back of this monitor. So that is it, the little Mac Mini setup, and let's swing it around one more time so that you can see it in all of its glory. Oh, better not go that way, better go this way. There it is. How neat is that? Again, pretty clean cabling out the back here. All the heat coming out the bottom as well, so I can feel the hot air coming out there. That's nice. Nothing restricting the vent because all the connectors are on that side. So nice. A lovely little setup, a little bit wacky, bit crazy, but a handy piece of kit if you need something like this. And it will be treasured in my growing collection of bizarre Mac accessories. So thank you very much for watching, everyone, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.